welcome to the Stronger Than My Excuses show, Save Our Town, Revitalise The Entrance. I'm Julie Watson from Stronger Than My Excuses, and I'll be your host today, and it's going to be a fantastic show today. First, I'd just like to recognise that we're meeting on the land of the Darkinjung people, and we really respect them and their elders past, present and emerging. So today with me, I have the help of my co-host, Bob Diaz. Welcome,
Morning.
Bob.
Thank you.
Bob is the president of the Entrance Chamber of Commerce, so he's got a lot to help us with today. And Bob's going to introduce the rest of our panel in a moment. But first, I just want to let you know that the aim of today is to really find out what locals can do to make this town thrive and not just survive. So we want to make sure that we get locals involved, that people understand what they can do to really support the local town. We also want to let you know that anyone can have their own show. So that means we can help other towns who can have a show in their town to support their community, their region, and really get their town thriving or even rebuilding after lots of devastation that we've had. So contact Stronger Than My Excuses if you'd like to know how you can get a production kit. It's free for anyone that's been through any sort of drought or the fires, the recent fires that we've had. And we really want to support you with this kit that can help you produce your own show. So let's move on with introducing our guest, Bob.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Hello to Ms. Paula Martin. Paula's a Regional Director of Business New South Wales. It was formerly the Chamber of Commerce. Great program, does very, very well. We've also got Crystal Russom. Crystal Russom is the Director from Austereo, Southern Cross. She's also a volunteer for Rural Aid. And at the end here we have Ms. Bellinda Katalinic. Belle is the owner of Polished Day Spa, just across the road. She's also the founder and also the chairman of Friday Night. Thank you.
Welcome to the show, everyone.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. So just before I ask the first question, I'd like to acknowledge all of our sponsors. Now you'll see them on the bottom of the screen right now. So thank you. We couldn't do it without you. It's much appreciated.
If you'd like to join us in our social media, we'd like to see you put that little tick to let us know that you're watching and all what's going on.
Very good. So I just mentioned that we are giving away our web production kits to towns that might need to be revitalised because of bushfires and drought. So why does the Entrance need revitalising? And I'm going to throw this over to you, Bob, because the president of the chamber.
Yes.
Give us some insights there.
Many years ago, we sat down and we started to see there was a need to bring people back into the Entrance. This is going back in the late 80s. It might sound like a long time ago, which it generally was. But really we brought it back into the future. We needed to bring some sort of revitalisation. The council came to the party and they spent the better part of $15 million, new paving, shop fronts came through. It really brought a bit of life to the town and it really worked in very well. But that's been happening, it's over now by about 25 years. So we'd like to try and get a few more people back into town, a few more shop fronts, a little bit more vibrant. We'd also like to see a few more shopkeepers become a little bit more, I suppose, customer savvy to really work in and make it work out. So I think that's probably one of the better things to do.
Yeah. What do you think, Paula?
So I think you'll find that the Entrance is suffering a very similar fate to a lot of other coastal towns across New South Wales. And that's as a result of, like Bob said, changing customer expectations around their tourism experiences. And also if you look at the way that tourism in itself has been changing with the introduction of so many online information portals that give you a lot of the experience online before you actually get there. That's actually changing. We were talking about it this morning. It's changing the expectation of tourism customers, and the Entrance is no different to other towns. So for the Entrance, what you're looking at is a location that's an hour and a bit from Sydney, a location that is experiencing a change from the 80s, 20 years ago, and potentially the town in itself hasn't been able to keep up with the changing tourism trends. And I know, Bellinda, we were talking about it before, which you're going to cover it off a little bit, but really it's about keeping up with the changing tourism trend and ensuring that businesses have a range of different ways to change the nature of their business.
I agree with the customer savvy part as well. So in my role at Southern Cross Austereo, I work in advertising, and I do see a lot of clients are just selling what they have. There's so much competition now And I think that's not 100% taken into consideration. It's not enough now to just have a store and just sell things, when me as a consumer, I can go to so many other different options. So I need to think about, if I'm a store owner, I need to think about what makes me different, and should people make the effort to come here instead of simply going online and getting something.
Yeah, that's right.
And people do research where they go.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not the same as it once was, where your shopfront was your advertising in your window space. It's now become your online marketing and your social media. That's your new window display. That's how people know to go to see you. And the way in which people holiday is not the same as it was. We've had a growing population, but we've become like a lot of other places where it's been bypassed for a bigger shopping centre or something else of the same nature. It might be a major roadway or what have you.
Yeah.
But now what we're doing is we're reconnecting with that community and making sure that they have a reason to come here. So I think that that's one way to sort of redirect people into it. I don't think the town, for say, needs a lot of revitalisation. I think a few shopfronts need a bit of doing up, and of course we want to take care of our waterways, which has been such a prominent issue. And you know, we're looking into different ways to really expand on that area. But I think as a town, we're still very beautiful. We're still very vibrant, and we're actually on top of the mark as far as a lot of places go.
This is the part that we talk about, where Belle's going on. Every chamber meeting we have, we talk about reconnection, and it's a reconnection back to the community to get the community back into town. I'm sure, Paula, that's where you want to come in on that.
Yeah, I just wanted to build on what you're both saying. Actually, is I wonder if for successful town centres have got really strong identities, and I think what I've heard today is that it's this really interesting balance that the Entrance is going through at the moment, or this challenge where we don't have a balance, and that is, are we a tourist destination or are we a business district that happens to be coastal and that offers great lifestyle options for the residences and the locals around us? So I actually think that what the Entrance is facing is what's happening around New South Wales, and that is, what is the true identity of the Entrance? If it's a tourism community, then you need to actually pull all the levers that make you a really successful tourism community, starting with, like what you were saying, the customer experience, where if a customer's had the excitement and the build-up of wanting to come to the Entrance, because online they've seen all the beautiful pictures, they can see there's a thriving retail district, there's experiences. When they get here, like the cruise liner, they want to have an end-to-end experience, a very unique, different experience. And potentially, Bob, what the Entrance needs to revitalise is that end-to-end experience, and we may not have all of the levers in place to give our customers that end-to-end experience.
Yeah, but our retailers need to not be frightened to change up how they actually do market their product as well. Because your product, if it sells and it's good, it's going to sell. But you need to not be scared to market that to a different sort of network of people that you once hadn't really thought of as being your customer base. So it's about branching out and actually knowing your customers too.
So I was going to ask Crystal, because of your rural aid experience, and I know you're a volunteer and you're not in management there or anything, but I know you've got a lot of experience there. So what would a revitalised town look like? Perhaps you can give us some examples of towns that you've seen or what they might be doing, but also how that might relate to the Entrance.
So with my volunteer work with Rural Aid, I have visited a couple of different towns, and what I am starting to see is they are embracing the modern technology and social media, which is fantastic to see, because a lot of these businesses and these families, they're third, fourth, fifth generation families, and they are a lot of the time, I guess, stuck in their ways. And so when marketing and promotion is changing so quickly and we have to embrace that technology, a lot of them are, which is really, really nice to see.
But the same here. People would get a bit stuck in their ways as far as technology. So it's good that they're using that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes such a difference, because if you're planning a road trip and you're planning to go through all these little country towns and you can see again, you can see on the internet how amazing it looks, and you get there and it lives up to that expectation. It makes a really big difference.
Yeah, that's great. What do you think, Bob? What does a revitalised entrance look like?
A lot of people think about painting. They think about painting a shop front. They think about changing a shop front. That's not it. If you want to have an end-to-end experience, you've got to be able to walk into that town, and it's going to have to give you what you want. Seating, I think Wi-Fi through the town. It's going to have the seating that people can sit down and they can look at those different stores, they can see what's in the town, they can find out where it's going. Open shops really makes a big difference. I mean, if a shop's open, it's great. If a store is closed down, then it's better that the store is actually cleaned up. We get rid of all the stickers, we take everything off the wall, we take away the closing down, we take all that away. We might put a vibrant picture in the front window or something like that. Clean it up inside, put a table and chair inside so it looks inviting for people to look at. That's what a town needs. The shopkeepers around here are great. I have no concerns with the shopkeepers at all. I can understand we're talking about technology, that they need to move into social media. That's very easy for some people to do, very difficult for others to do. So that's probably going to be one of our roles as a chamber to try and get that back up. So that's what I see Revitalise Town, where we have people come in, they can walk in, they can sit down, they can enjoy the space. There's food, there's coffee, there's drinks, there's everything else that they want. And it's the enjoyment. That's what it comes down. It's going to have to be the enjoyment of the town. It's just going to have to be happy, smiling, things like that. That's what it's going to be. And clean.
Yeah, and not walking past, like you said, those shops that just look like closed down, stickers. That's my bugbear.
Yes.
What do you think, Paula?
I think it starts with a vision, and I think that whilst the shopkeepers are doing a really great job in keeping their own stores alive and keeping the town alive, I think one of the success factors of a strong town is collaboration. So if you've got an agreed vision that all of the businesses are working towards, then the next element is collaborating together to achieve that vision.
Yes.
So if you're saying you need seating, well, I'd probably look at all the levers. I'd look at accommodation, I'd look at entertainment, the nighttime economy, how far do they have to walk, is there public transport available? So you'd look at all of those town sort of centre things that make a thriving, fantastic town. Cleanliness, beautification, all of that.
So how would you get that collaboration?
Well, the chamber's one avenue.
But
The chamber's one avenue, but there are clusters of businesses, both in the shopping centre, in the strip. There's nothing to stop those clusters from coming together and agreeing what the vision for this retail road strip might be, or the shopping centre might be. Actually having collaboration between shopkeepers, because one successful shopkeeper or one successful business can rub off on another successful business, and together they can create something new. So if you look at, for example, the creation of experiences, successful experiences is about people working together to create something really new. So you might have, I think you've got a spa, a personal spa. What options do you have to work with another business to create a longer experience for the customer,
so
for example?
Might be tying in with a hairdresser and tying
Which
in
we
with
already do. So
fashion.
we've got several hairdressers in the area, and we actually tie in with other beauty therapists as well in the area to make sure that no one's missing out on that customer. If I can't do what you need done, I refer to the next person up, so that we don't have money walking outside of the town. And I think that teamwork is really important to have going on in the town, and that networking between shops. So we found that we did a little exercise at the beginning of last year where a lot of the shopkeepers were no longer in touch with what was up the road or what was down the road. So doing those networking events is very important to make sure that everybody knew what was in town. And of course, referrals. So, when we say goodbye to our customers in the salon, we're also saying, where are you going for dinner? And then we give recommendations. That kind of customer service between the different shopkeepers stops them from going to outside of the area or going for a drive or,
Bellinda, that takes me into sort of the next question. So what actions have the community taken, or can the community take, retailers and maybe the chamber? What have they done so far? And I know that you've done some things yourself to really get the town sort of collaborating, which I think is fantastic. Tell us a bit more about that, Belinda.
Yeah, so for the past couple of years, I've been watching other communities and seeing what was working in their little areas. And we wanted to sort of base around family celebrations, because we looked at our target market of overall what works for this area, and it's families. So we decided to focus on Halloween, and we created an event called Fright Night, which I had an amazing amount of support, not only from my board members on the chamber and the chamber in general, but the local community, and also council jumped on board and gave us an amazing amount of support too. And in 4 hours we got 15,000 people. So
Unbelievable.
we were freaking out a bit, weren't we, Bob? For about 10 minutes.
It was good to see. What Belle was alluding to was that connection. We wanted to connect back into the community, get the community here. And we had something that was sort of like rolling along, and it just went from a small little family event to a very large family event. And when you had people coming into the town, as Belle said, we had people coming into the town who were fully dressed up. We expected to have a few people here. We're getting a bit worried in the hours before. We're saying, now what should we do? Should we get on social media and start doing a little bit more? And I think nerves overcame, and we're actually working quite well. And when you look down the street, and cars couldn't drive down the street because the amount of people walking on the road, that just showed you the success that it was. It really blew everybody away. The social media part certainly helped, but it was that connection with the community through the schools, the PNC, through the traders themselves, back with the chamber, onto council. Everybody just came together. That web just closed, and everybody had a fantastic night.
That part of the pump, the web.
The web. It came right through. We were very, very pleased. I don't think there was any. Well, I know there was no negative comments that came back to us.
But can I just add to that? The objective of your Fright Night was to reinvigorate the business community.
Yes.
And so the outcome was that you had community, as in family. You found the niche, but your objective was to remind the community that all of these businesses existed from the top of the entrance right down to the bottom of the entrance.
Yep.
And I think you achieved that by targeting your niche, which was family. So you really listened to your customer, which is what you were saying. Your customer in between the tourism areas are your locals.
Yes.
So what could you do to remind the locals that each business is open?
And it was all return business, so that really worked in well for us. So, and that's all we wanted. We wanted the exposure, and we wanted that reconnection.
Yeah. And do you see that, Crystal, in rural places as well?
So Rural Aid work with rural communities and towns right across Australia. And of course, every town is different and reacts to the economic crisis, I guess, in different ways. We have just rolled out our 10 Towns Makeover. So that involved towns applying to Rural Aid. We had over 60 applicants. And 10 towns were selected based on their leadership capabilities and what they proposed to Rural Aid that they could offer. These towns will get a minimum of $100,000 over a 5-year period. To revitalise and grow and not just within their own community, but to help promote their town out as a tourist destination as well. But it's not just about providing the financial support as well. A lot of these towns don't have the specialists or the knowledge or the skills to really look into their customer base. It's not something that they've ever had to do, I guess. Yeah. So by bringing in a specialist, we're bringing in Peter Kenyon from Bank of Ideas. So he's going to help these businesses and be on site there to actually make their plans and bring them to life, but then also teach them how they can grow and achieve long-term sustainability as well, not just within this 5-year period, but long after that as well.
And I think that's why a Chamber of Commerce can be so important, because they can bring a lot of those skills. And I just think it's amazing what you've been doing. Keep up the good work. So look, I'm actually just going to move to our very last little question, which is just your one-word answer. Hardly anyone ever gets one word, but try to use one word that you think you could that you could use, that viewers could use to take action right now in their community? Paula, I'm going to start with you.
Plan.
Oh, plan. Very good. One word.
Yep.
Bob,
Invite.
invite.
If you can't invite them, they're not going to come.
Yeah,
Mine's going to be 2. Mine's shop local.
very good.
And inclusiveness.
Okay.
Look
Very
at how to make sure everybody is going to benefit from it.
I've got my one word, collaborate. And I really only just picked that up from today's discussion, so it's amazing. So I hope you'll all tune in and watch our show, and watch again next week when we have another show.
And I was going to say, don't forget when you're watching the program, if you want to ask any questions, please do so. You can click that little button on the bottom of the screen there, and some of the people will be here. They can actually talk to you straight away.
That's right. So, Paula, I love what the New South Wales Business Chamber, or Business New South Wales, is doing with Back the Bush. Can you just tell us a little bit about that before we go?
Sure. So Backing the Bush is Business New South Wales' response to the catastrophic summer that we've had, starting with the drought, then bushfires. On the Central Coast we had the floods, and now we're facing COVID-19. So Backing the Bush is about encouraging businesses, especially large corporate businesses, to host their meetings in rural areas, so that fits in with your revitalisation project as well, to encourage large businesses where they would normally spend in the city to spend in the regions. And I'm really delighted to see, Julie, that you're making available this Stronger Than My Excuses production kit available to those rural centres that have suffered bushfire catastrophes, to be able to use this format to really talk about how they can revitalise their towns. And you're, as I understand, making available this production kit for free for these towns to pick up and use their social media networks to really promote out there the special and unique things that they can do in their towns using this production kit. So that's a fantastic offer on your behalf, and I congratulate you for doing that.
Thanks, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for being here today. Paula Martin from Business New South Wales, Crystal Russom from Austeria, and Bill Katalinic from the Polish Toast Bar. Thank you very much, Julie.
Thank you for
And
having
thank you
us.
for being my co-host. It's been
Great, did well, did we?
wonderful. I'd really like to thank all of our sponsors, and especially our venue, the Lakes Hotel. It's been amazing coming here. Our wonderful videographer, Atlantic Studios, and everybody has been amazing. So thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you very much.